My knee talk is much louder now. Said I can't sleep through the night. All right, guys. So we got this video here. It's called "The Fraud Inventor Cooking Up Cancer Juice." Julian Brown. It's based off the guy that is trying to say that he has made a whole new type of form of gas that is made off of strictly recycled plastic. I'm pretty sure it was. I've actually seen videos of him doing such things and stuff like that and promoting it. So I know more or less what he's talking about when he's saying that this guy's a fraud. But I didn't know he was a fraud, right? I'm over here like, oh shit, this guy might come up with the new type of gas. But if you read the comments the whole time, there's a lot of people saying, hey, this gas isn't even going to be usable. This guy's a fraudster and a bunch of stuff like that. So let's get into it.
Because there's been a lot of stuff that I've been seeing on social media recently that is, I'm calling somebody out today because there's been a lot of stuff that I've been seeing on social media recently that is a load of nonsense. And there is one person who I think has flown under the radar of scrutiny for a little bit too long. And I think it's now time for somebody, me, okay, to call him out and set the record straight. Now, the person I'm going to be calling out today in this video is a young man by the name of Julian Brown, okay? You might have seen this guy all over the internet, okay? He is apparently creating a new form of fuel out of plastic waste, and he's apparently going to save the whole world. He's going to save us from climate change. He's going to save us from high fuel prices. But it turns out this guy is low-key a bit of a, in my opinion, okay, I don't want to get sued, but low-key, in my opinion, I think this guy's a bit of a fraud and a grifter, okay?
Damn.
I think he's spreading a whole lot of cap and painting himself out to be this big hero, which he unfortunately is not.
So the whole time
and he really
capped.
isn't the savior that we all think he is, okay? So this is Julian Brown, all right? Julian Brown, he's got his own Wikipedia page. I guess is it been deleted? Hang on. All right, so interestingly, his Wikipedia page has been deleted. Funny that. But this is an archived version of his Wikipedia page where we can see some of the backstory about him, okay? Julian Alexander Brown is a social media personality who claims to have invented an alternative fuel from plastic waste. The process that he promotes is actually standard pyrolysis, a long-established chemical method that produces fuel with higher levels of carcinogens and other pollutants than traditional diesel. He also claims to be working to turn pollution into a source of energy through his company called Nature Jab, okay? He basically, look, he's from Tennessee, okay, he hails from Atlanta. He began to work whilst he was in high school, equipped with only welding certifications and without any formal training as a scientist and an engineer. He claims he taught himself the necessary skills and spent 5 years developing his microwave pyrolysis technology. He reportedly began experimenting with plastic to fuel technology as a teenager, and aside from experimenting, he's also trained in martial arts. So I might be in line for a big ass whooping after this video. I don't care because I've got to keep it real, man. I might be catching a nature jab to the face. I'm going to try and parry that.
How you doing, bro?
But anyway, it says Brown founded the startup Nature Jab and ran experiments to scale up his plastiline system. He showcased homemade prototypes via social media, especially on TikTok and Instagram, earning over 1.3 million followers and millions of views. He also launched a GoFundMe campaign.
He definitely
raised $1 million to build a full-scale plastiline.
Let me pause this for a second. He definitely could have raised enough money off of just saying that he was making this crazy gas thing. And I'm not trying to sound racist as well, but he's black. So they're gonna be like, oh my God, he's black, so he's creating this thing. So they're gonna the black community is gonna support him more. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to see a successful, black inventor make a new gas. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna support that. And supposedly he raised over $1 million on GoFundMe alone. You know what I'm saying? And it's if you think about it, you don't even got to be an inventor anymore after that. Tisha, welcome in. You don't even got to be an inventor anymore after that, chat. You know what I'm saying? You just made $1 million off of GoFundMe. What?
Although as of late July 2025, the effort only collected $18,000.
Oh, never mind.
But now this is what this video is going to all be about: controversy and criticism. Brown's claims have been repeatedly criticized by scientists and journalists as misleading. One fact-check article from Yahoo News revealed that his novel invention was simply pyrolysis, a decades-old process with well-documented limitations. Furthermore, a piece from New Atlas called into question the validity of Brown's use of pyrolysis for energy production. Plastiline is not considered a legitimate fuel alternative as it yields less energy than is required to produce it. You've got to burn more fuel to make it.
And that's
right?
what the
If you
comments
got
have
to
been
burn a
saying
liter of
on the
fuel, you
guy's
might end up with
videos for
0.8
a
liters
long
of fuel at the end
time,
of it. It's a
bro.
waste of time. It's phony baloney nonsense, okay? Furthermore, GCMS analysis of Brown's plastoline conducted by a chemist and YouTuber affiliated with the University of California, Irvine, revealed the presence of highly toxic pollutants like toluene, ethylbenzene, and
it's
xylene.
like bad,
These
too.
compounds are considered more hazardous
bad.
than those found in traditional gasoline.
It's like a horrible
now,
type
we're
of
going to
gas
talk about
to
his
even
disappearance
burn.
and the public concern all about him, okay? But we're going to get to that in a sec. But that's enough Wikipediaing, okay? Let's actually start looking at some of the brash claims that he's been making over the years, okay? So he first really popped off with this whole pyrolysis BS thing back in December of 2021, okay? Julian Brown, just 18 years old at the time. This was when he first publicly appeared on the internet in 2021, right at the end of the year. And he was promoting a device.
Bro's been freaking trying to promote fake gas as long as I've been like, you know what I'm saying? My bad, I'm back. Sheesh Louise. Maria, welcome in. I'm sorry, guys.
That he
I had
called
to go
a
flip my
pyrolysis
chicken in the air
reactor.
fryer.
In simple terms, he claimed to have a microwave that could turn plastic into fuel. Watch this.
Hello, my name is Julian Brown, and I'll be explaining how I, at 18 years old, have created a microwave pyrolysis reactor, a device that turns plastic waste into fuel. First, I'll start with my drive. What motivates a teenager to build a reactor? Well, it all started back in 2021, early 2021, and I was very upset after I read an article that said globally, we throw away over 3.4 billion masks every single day, and in 2020 alone, 1.6 billion masks were thrown into the ocean. Now, masks, they're made of plastic, just like many things in this world. And unfortunately, whether they're in landfills or in the ocean, they'll be around for a very long time. Now, for a while, I was so disappointed reading these statistics that I became pessimistic, believing we're doomed and we're all gonna drown in our trash like Wall-E or something. However, Mom always taught me, if there's a problem, there's a solution. And I listened to that song by Michael Jackson, the one that goes, "Man in the Mirror," and I decided, I'm making the change.
So he listened to some Michael Jackson. He realized there was a whole bunch of masks.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's trying to.
I'm going to be the one to save
he's
the
a scammer.
world.
He's a scammer.
And since basically
it's giving
plastic,
telemarketing.
all right, the mask, all of that stuff. Okay, he's going to explain how pyrolysis works.
It's giving telemarketing scam.
Let's hear his explanation of how pyrolysis works, and then we'll get to what he's actually doing.
As an individual, as a community, or even as a small or large business, you can become a part of the solution to help the Earth. This led me to find the process of pyrolysis. In Greek, the word pyro means heat, and lysis means to break apart. Put two and two together, and you get breaking apart something with heat. Now, unlike combustion and incinerators, pyrolysis does not involve oxygen. Compared to a fire where the plastic is oxidized and releases toxic chemical. I know, I just said oxidized. I'm taking you back to chemistry class. Trust me, it'll get better. Hang in with me there, alright? Now listen. Pyrolysis, it melts the plastic into a liquid, and then it evaporates it. I like to think of it like if you leave ice out, on a hot summer day, what's going to happen? It's going to evaporate. So after that, we're going to go back to the science. You take oxygen out of the equation, and it changes a lot. For example, in a fire, you'll get things like sulfur dioxide forming, which is when sulfur mixes with oxygen. And as we all know, you take one whiff of that stuff, you're a dead man, right? Well, maybe not that extreme, but at the very least, it's going to cause acid rain. Who wants that? I don't want acid in my rain. On the other hand...
Now, remember everything he's saying here for later, all right? He's saying, oh, we don't want these toxic chemicals in the air. Who wants acid in their rain? Who wants to put more toxic chemicals in the air than are already being put into the air? Well, it's highly possible that Julian Brown might actually end up doing exactly what he said. So he basically goes on to explain how this thing works, that plastic is made from oil and gas, and he claims that he's got a microwave that reverses the process and can turn the plastics back into gasoline.
With pyrolysis, you would just get sulfur, which is a valuable element used in the industry. Now, since plastic is a product of crude oil, which is the same stuff we run our world off of, it is very energy dense. And under pyrolysis, this can be refined back into crude oil and liquid fuels. So instead of getting smoke, you get combustible gas.
This video is an hour long, so I'm gonna start skipping into the parts where they're talking
materials, which comprises of the following steps.
So they're saying that the things that he's like talking about, like I'm gonna break this down for y'all in a simple term. The things that he's saying that he's selling, I mean that he's gonna be creating, inventing, it's like it's been around for a long time. So he's pretty much just selling something that's been around.
A gaseous stream through a microwave discharge zone, TJE pressure of the gaseous stream in said zone being from about 0.1 millimeters of mercury to below an atmospheric pressure.
Right, I don't know what the hell he's talking about, so I'm gonna skip that shit.
I'm not really out here trying to get clout off this whole thing. So not only had this been invented and patented in the 1970s, but in 1997 there had been successful attempts to turn plastic into fuel using a microwave. Okay, this is
bro. He scammed everybody. So the whole time he has everybody thinking, oh my god, he's inventing something new. He's inventing a new type of gas. He's inventing a new type of gasoline that we can use. The whole time, it's been around since the 70s, bro, and it's a reason why they haven't used it. And there's a reason why he didn't get no type of big deals from the government or nothing. They're just like, bro, what are you talking about, bro?
Some academic research says Frank Pringle has found a way to squeeze oil and gas from just about anything. I'm not sure if I'm watching a magic trick or an invention that will make the cigar-chomping 64-year-old next to me the richest man on the planet. Well, that was in 1997. Didn't really work out, did it? Everything that goes into Frank Pringle's recycling machine, a piece of tire, a rock, a plastic cup, turns to oil and natural gas seconds later. I've been told the oil companies might try and assassinate me, Pringle says without sarcasm. Now, remember that, because this same trope is going to get reused by Julian Brown later.
Yep. So they've been told that you were able to use tires, rocks, or a plastic cup and turn it into gas. But the machine is a microwave emitter that extracts the petroleum and gas hidden inside everyday object. By the way, I'm very good at reading, so I'm very smart. I can read this quick. Or at least anything made with hydrocarbons, which it turns out is that most of what surrounds you. Every hour, the first commercial version will turn 10 tons of auto waste, tires, plastic, and vinyl into natural gas to produce 17 million BTUs of energy. It will use 956,000 of those BTUs to keep itself running. So it produces 17 BTUs of energy, and it costs about $1 million to keep it running. So it's pretty good.
To maximize his clout. The machine is a microwave emitter that extracts petroleum and gas hidden. Figured that some of those gases from his microwave tire had lingered and the cold air in the tire shop had condensed them into diesel. If the process worked on tires, he thought it should work on anything with hydrocarbons. The trick was finding the optimum microwave frequency for each material out of 10 million possibilities. Pringle has spent 10 years and $1 million honing in on frequencies for hundreds of materials. In 2004, he teamed up with an engineer pal, Hawk Hogan, to take the machine commercial. Their first order is under construction in Rockford, Illinois. It's a $5.1 million microwave machine the size of a small bus called the Hawk. Bound for an auto recycler in Long Island, New York, more deals loom. The U.S. military...
Yo, the government's been having some crazy shit. They had a $5 million microwave in 2004 that was able to turn anything into gas, bro. So,
military might...
So, bro that's talking about he invented this, I don't know, you feel me? I don't know, bro.
Use Hawks in Iraq or on waste such as water bottles and food containers. Oil companies are looking to the machines to gasify petroleum trapped in shale. And back at the shop, not... Yeah, we don't really need all that, to be honest with you. That copyrighted song, it's a copyrighted song, that's L. So yeah, you get the gist, all right? microplasma formation flashes, and he basically turns that cup into fuel. Okay, so all of this was going on while multiple billion-dollar companies had already perfected the business of turning plastic into fuel years before Julian popped out with his creation. All right, so blowing up these companies.
Suggestions, and we will put them all into play to build this new microwave pyrolysis reactor. Now that links me into my next thing. The next thing is I started a Patreon, okay? I don't like asking for money because that's not what it's about to me. This is about the passion. This is about the solution to...
He probably has a whole bunch of ways to make money off of this. Let's be honest, bro.
Our pollution problem in the world, and this is about, you know, just having a community of people on YouTube. Well, with that being said, it's only $5 a month, and it will really help me and this project out. That's what I'd spend all of it on, the project. Because as much as I don't want this to be about money, the truth is this world is run by money, and this reactor does cost money, especially designing a new one when I gotta buy all these new pipes and stuff. It can easily cost several $100s. So with that being said, if any of you are feeling generous to support me, I will greatly appreciate it. And I appreciate all you for just being here and watching. So don't even feel the need to support me for 1 second on Patreon, because I completely value all of your time regardless, okay? I love to be able to see how everybody can come together to give me different suggestions from all over the world. It's amazing to me, okay?
So look, he just needs your money, man, to build this device that's already been built, that's already out here circulating, okay? And this would turn out to be only the beginning, all right? Because from asking for a cheeky little $5 on Patreon, okay, by 2023, Julian would be launching multiple fundraising campaigns, including this one that he dropped in January of 2023, asking for $1 million, okay? He said, plastic to fuel, together we will heal the earth, all right? Just shut up and give me your money, man, dummies, all right? Don't do no research on this. You probably ain't even smart enough to understand how this shit works. So just send me money, man. First 100,000 raised will get me a warehouse space. I'll be able to move to the location. Once I get 300 bags, I'll be able to order all the sample parts. 450,000, I'll be able to begin construction. I can't even build it until I got 450 racks, all right? Once I got 750, all right, we'll have completed the construction. And that's when the marketing phase begins, all right? That's when we do the big dog, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to get these likes and these followers up. And once he gets $1.5 million, which is even beyond the $1 million goal, okay, permits and regulations will get passed. We'll be able to analyze the fuel, and we'll be able to take this thing to the market, okay? Even though apparently it's very inefficient when it comes to actually how it works and its actual usefulness in reality, okay? You'd be better off just going to the gas station and buying some fuel at the local rates rather than doing all of this. But hey, man, you need to give him some money, man. So he raised $21,000 of his $1 million goal, which, to be honest, like, it's pretty off target. But at the same time, like, that's still quite a lot of bread. Operating my machines off solar was an invention. He's eighth in on
EPA, and, you know, a lot of...
And, okay, more than a year after he claimed to have...
doing it.
A while after this, all right, this is defense.
All right. So then he gets caught out for being a scammer. He gets caught out for being a scammer and not actually having a type of gas that is, like, even going to be efficient. You know what I'm saying? And he makes this response.
I really keep the oil. I really, like, if I ever burn it for a video, it's burning for a few seconds. I usually have a mask on.
I ain't gonna lie. If he got all that money donated and you still got a chair like that, bro, yeah, that shit's not going to the right. That shit's not going to the right places. Like, look, like, bro, my gaming chair ain't even that cooked, and I've had my shit for like 4 or 5 years, bro. That shit's crazy.
And it's done. And then I keep the rest of it. I store it. Because once again, for all my products, it's the same thing. I store them until I can figure out, get the proper tools to figure out what's in them and how to properly process them. So that way I'm not doing any type of environmental harm or health harm. And I usually, you know, when I'm not making a video and talking, I'm usually always wearing a respirator with...
So look, that's the thing. He's super careful, right? He's basically saying, yeah, I guess that's, I guess so. But like, I only burn the fuel for a few. So he's basically admitting that, like, yeah, I am creating some pretty harmful stuff. All right. So basically, once again, okay, more than a year after he claimed to have created plastiline, it would once again, okay, be circulating all around. All right. This basically is just, you know, this is that same post that I showed you earlier, but basically everybody's saying that he created it. And eventually a lot of people were asking in those comments on that video that he dropped.
In my case.
All right. Like, here's one comment. It says, how can he make claims without ever testing his results scientifically? You know, there's other people saying, take a benzene blood test and post the results. You know, they're saying test it for benzene and prove it's safe to burn. People are saying, yo, like, you need to actually work this out. He even, like a lot of people are saying, wow, he really admitted to not having the equipment to test it. People are asking, do you have any way to remove the benzene? This is the thing. It's like you beginning to realize, like, yo, like, do you have any actual way to remove the benzene as well as the other chemicals which are also harmful? Like, all these claims you're making for clean fuel, we're going to save the world, is cap. It's fraudulent. You're not going to save these. This is a big problem. It says, okay, but why won't you address the waste issue? People are screaming at you about the benzene. How are you working on waste disposal? Do not just dump that material into the ground. You need to get it tested to see what you're creating or releasing. For example, what gases are you releasing when you put this stuff out? Saying you're lucky you did this outside. Don't breathe those vapors either. All right. Cancer isn't instant. I'm not just a hater. I don't know. I wish the best for his long-term health though. Okay. People are saying, yo, like this guy is kind of just on the wrong wave, all right? And so as the months went on, okay, he would continue to do his thing. He wouldn't let the criticism.
All right, so I'm gonna just say this, bro. I've seen his comments on Instagram, and I was like, wow, like everybody's commenting saying, oh, this fuel is bad. This fuel is bad. It's not gonna work. This shit has been around. So yeah, honestly, at this point, I'm starting to be like, okay. Yeah, it's not a good
criticism. Stop his momentum.
Alternative.
And in December 2024, Julian's next announcement would take the world by storm, man. He would pop out.
So I've created my own gas
This is when I first saw him. I saw this video right here.
station that makes fuel from plastic waste. Let's go.
So now he's created his own gas station.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw this video right here.
That don't look like any gas station I'm trying to go to. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. If I pull up at the gas station and fools are doing this, I'm gonna find the next Chevron, man. What type of gas station is this, buddy?
Hold on, let him cook though. Let him cook. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't never seen this at BP, man. What?
Let him cook.
Bro, what?
Let him cook the gas.
Bro. You might want to just focus on building some batteries, some electric chargers, bro. If you really want to save.
You gotta let him cook the gas first, bro. He's still cooking it. He ain't even letting him cook. Once he cooks the gas, then we can talk ish, man. Let him
Well, this is
cook.
crazy.
Putting that junk up in there.
616,000 views of his gas station.
He's shoving all that junk up in there. Yeah. Oh, it looks like a garbage can.
Bruh.
It looks like you work at a restaurant and you just took out all the trash.
I don't want to be anywhere near this shit when it gets set on fire, bro. I don't want to be anywhere near that, man. That's crazy. So coincidentally, right, on the very same day, he was doing this, opening his own gas station, inventing his own gas station, all right? On the same day, Ben Katz will be testing the quality of his fuel.
Thank you, NatureJab, for sending me the samples and trusting me to analyze them for you. I definitely don't want to discourage any of your scientific spirit, but I like to give the facts. But my video is going to focus a little bit on safety.
All right, here we go. Packaging. Oh man, I can smell them from here. I should put gloves on. Woo.
He can smell that cancer juice from here, man.
There's the most, and this peak here at 3.28 is coming up as toluene. So toluene is methylbenzene. All right, so the most abundant peak in all of these microwave pyrolyzed plastic samples from MajorTab is this huge peak at 5 minutes. If we click on this, in every sample, this is coming up as styrene. You know, styrene monomer is what's used to make polystyrene plastics. I'm assuming there's maybe some plastic mixing going on, which is accounting for the styrene. Styrene, this is what we call vinyl benzene, right? So this...
Yo, maximum love and respect to each and everyone from Jamaica in the house. Subscribe. Yo, appreciate that, bro. Subscribe, bro. Subscribe to me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. So pretty much, this is about the guy that is saying that he knows how to make gas out of plastic. On Instagram, going viral for it. Now, pretty much, I will say this. Right now, they're saying that they tested the gas, and the main chemical that's being burned out into the air from it is from yeah, no, my bad. That's what that noise is from. But I'm just saying everybody else too. The main chemical that's being released out from the air from this gas is like the same gas, like the same chemical that you would have from burning plastic. So wow, yeah, that's so bad for the environment. Oh my God.
It's a very dangerous molecule. It's toxic. I'd be very careful since the number one volatile thing you're smelling is most likely the sweet smell of styrene. can read about styrene is a colorless, flammable, highly volatile gas used in the plastics manufacturing. It is kind of like more of a synthetic chemical that they would use in the manufacturing of plastics. They typically won't use it for fuel or anything like that. And it's going to be in everything. It's a precursor to a lot of different plastic products. The problem
That's so bad for you. Oh my god.
problem is styrene is a very toxic. It can give you symptoms like the feeling of a drunkenness or nausea. It's irritating to the eyes and throat and skin. Just reiterate my caution for how toxic the molecule styrene is, and how much precaution you should give to your own personal health.
It makes you want to stop drinking.
There's very, very dangerous toxic chemicals in there, man, and you definitely don't want to be around when this stuff's burning. You definitely don't want to be inside. If a vehicle is burning, you definitely don't want to be in an enclosed space when a vehicle's burning this fuel, man.
That's my advice. My professional advice is that this amount of styrene, you really need to come at it with the proper protection so you do not get yourself sick. The peak that's right before styrene, they're kind of like all benzene rings with different decorations on them. This is ethyl benzene, right? So that's just one extra. So it's either dimethylbenzene, which is called xylene. So that would be xylene. But it also matches ethyl benzene.
Yeah, that's his name. His name is Julian. Yes. That's what this is about, bro. So look, so pretty much, Joe, he's saying that he invented a new type of gas. I'll tell you about what we were watching about in the beginning of this video. This video is an hour long, but I skipped through a lot of it already, so we're already in 40 minutes deep. But I'll tell you, he's saying that he made a new type of gas that's going to be efficient and it's going to cost less because he's using plastic to make it. But this same exact method that he's using has been around since the 70s. The government even made a $5 million microwave back in like year 2000s to keep trying to turn plastics and rubbers and stuff like that into gas. And then they did the research like this and they realized it's just too harmful and it's costing too much. We're better off disposing of the recycling the plastic and shit like that and making gas the way we do. And this guy, Julian, whatever, he tried to scam everybody into thinking that this is a new thing. And he's been doing it since 2020. That's what I didn't know. Like everybody just saw his videos like 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing it since 2020. Like he's been trying to fundraise. He like let me run it back for you to hear. Look, he has a fundraiser for like $1 million. Look at this.
Apparently, it's very inefficient when it comes to actually how it works. And once I got 750, all right, we'll have completed the construction, and that's when the marketing phase begins. All right, that's when we do the big dog. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get these likes and these.
But he said he didn't care about money, but then he made a GoFundMe for $1 million. So obviously he's scamming. You feel me?
He doesn't fully understand the chemistry. In truth, he's going to keep doing this as long as he can trick gullible people to feed, i.e. donate money into his delusion. There is no next step. He's going to make the cancer juice over and over again with no real plan.
And it's
the worst part about
toxic stuff
it is it's never these people who face the ramifications. If there's certain providence for these types, it's going to be someone else who gets seriously sick before it's shut down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was supporting him.
Thanks to this, he isn't using the catalyst to help push the products forward in any certain direction. He's going to get himself in trouble at some point, especially moving to the scale that he is at now. But despite that, okay, he was still featured in major news outlets. Okay, he popped up on Yahoo News, and this was a pretty positive article about him.
Hold on, I want to say something. So this is the thing that y'all don't realize, bro. This world is very, 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 very smart, bro. Like, when I go live streaming on TikTok and I'm streaming my games, or, you know, I'm kind of new to streaming on YouTube and Kick on here. But when I stream on TikTok, bro, you know, I got day ones on there and everything like that, right? And I've been doing that for like a year straight every day. Bro, those mama huevos be knowing every single game, every single mission. They know the lore behind every single movie. Like, you think that these people like didn't go to school and science wasn't their favorite subject, or that they don't do research on just like random things? Like, people are smart as hell, bro. So if you're gonna put millions of people watching your stuff and tell people, yeah, bro, I'm making a new type of fuel, you're gonna have millions of people fact checking you. Like, not a million, because, you know, you're gonna have the 50% of them are gullible, 25% of them don't care, 25% of the 5% of the other 25 don't have time. The 20% that got time and they care and they're smart, they're gonna research that, bro. Like, they're gonna research everything. They're gonna be commenting shit, and then by the time they comment shit, all the other dumb people are gonna start catching on too. Facts. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because I know how the internet works, bro. I know how the internet works.
Not really touching too far on these things. This article's titled "From
The internet
Waste to
is like a
Wealth."
tumble-
That kinda
like a
sums it
tumbleweed
up.
effect,
It's all about
bro.
the wealth. It's all about making money. Julian Brown's Plastiline produces gasoline from It's not Julian Brown's, is it? He didn't invent it. He wasn't around. He wasn't even alive in the 70s, man. But it says Julian Brown's a 21-year-old inventor hailing from Metro Atlanta. He's captured the attention of the nation with his
Oh, he's from Atlanta? I ain't trying to say too much.
pioneering invention. What? Known as plastiline. So there's some misinformation here. The machine transforms old plastics into useful fuels like gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. It's an invention that may provide some relief from plastic waste pollution. No, it is cancer juice.
That boy
man.
said that's the sweat.
It's basically a whole breakdown of him, his teenage inspiration to create plastiline.
You know
that product
what?
became plastiline, an invention.
Maybe he was
didn't
trying
invent nothing,
to,
bro.
you know?
It's just, you
Maybe he
pumping out
seriously
cancer
was
juice.
trying to
To
do
make the vision
something,
real,
bro.
Brown started a GoFundMe campaign with $1 million goal. All right, $1 million goal to cover warehouse rental and construction of a full-scale prototype. But at this point, he only raised $7,000. Okay, so after this, okay, about 10 days after that article, Julian would announce his new creation, Plastidiesel. Right, and once again, he was very careful what to say, and he didn't claim to have invented this one, but he was saying, "Hey, new pack just landed, man. Plastidiesel, get ready, you man. New cancer juice just landed. New pack."
Oh my god. This is not real.
My name is Julian Brown. I have created a microwave pyrolysis reactor.
I think I remember this
A device that creates fuel from plastic waste. Behind me is this beautiful Ford F-350 diesel, 1995.
I'm Rachel Cook. I found out that he needed
Yeah, Rachel, you're cooked. Rachel, you're cooked. You're cooked, Rachel.
a diesel truck. So it was my pleasure to watch Julian's Plastidiesel hopefully change the world.
Hopefully ruin the hell out of your old vintage truck that your dad probably... Yo, your dad would probably watch this video and be like, "You let that man put what inside of my truck? You're supposed to only put the best of the best American-made fuel inside of my truck from Afghanistan. What the hell are you doing?"
I think he's onto something amazing, and I'm so stoked to be a part of it.
We have emptied the fuel filter completely of all real diesel, and we're going to put in Plastidiesel. And that is going to allow that Plastidiesel to be pushed directly into the fuel injectors, allowing this car to run off 100% Plastidiesel, proving to the world that plastic is not trash, but it is energy.
I'm super inspired by what he's doing, being so driven to do something about a problem that he sees.
Now, let's drive this car.
Yo, wait, hold on. Wait a second. Now I see why you're thinking this video. This shit don't even seem real. What? He scammed the shit. He's laughing about this. And they got the Transformers music in the background. Like it's like the end of the movie for Transformers. And he's like, "I'm about to make this Plastidiesel. I'm about to show you the Plastidiesel." Nah, yo.
What?
Yo, he scammed everybody, I ain't gonna lie.
We have run this truck successfully off of diesel created from plastic waste.
Nobody wearing a mask, all right? Everybody breathing in that cancer juice is actually pretty twisted, okay? And once again, this wasn't the first time.
Bro said
diesel
nobody
was made
wearing
from
a mask.
from plastic, okay? This again, okay? So, my new Plastidiesel, new pack just landed. No, new pack didn't just invention, man. Oh my God, that's unbelievable in 2014 that was going on. Now, Julian Brown's attempts to portray his work as groundbreaking would continue all the way into 2025 with misleading video titles like "The World's First Truck Running on Plastiline," a claim that was only technically true because he had renamed the product Plastiline himself rather than, you know, what people were calling it from the 70s. And again, it was just another finesse.
Fire. Hats off to him.
So it's been
He's
around
doing
since
something
the
that will
70s.
obviously change the world.
Innovative, awesome.
Damn.
interesting how they protect this man, right? We heard the same dude from all the way back talking about in 1994, I need to be careful, you know, the oil industry is going to kill me. And he's doing the same thing, bro. It ain't nothing new. All right. And that's when things started to get a little bit strange for him. Okay. Things start to get a little bit out of hand. So just weeks after that viral truck video, he gets more press, perhaps. I'm not even going to go too far, but you know what I'm saying? Maybe someone was doing some PR work, but he had another article posted about him. Okay. And basically the big boys over at Forbes, they wrote up an article about Julian Brown and they said trash to treasure. Okay. Can plastic waste be converted into fuel? Okay. And it would basically break down, you know, the whole situation with Julian Brown, you know, all of the process of pyrolysis. It says a 2022 study published in Nature described energy recovery of waste plastics and diesel fuel for a process called pyrolysis. 2022 study, bro. We've been hearing about this since the 70s. This has been patented, okay? But this was another kind of puff piece from Forbes. You know, it basically talks all about Julian Brown, his amazing stuff he done. You know, it's you know, just breaking it down.
I will say this: it is very insane that he was able to do that on his own. I'm only laughing at the fact that he scammed. Like, all right, so I don't know. So it looks like he didn't really spend as much money as he said he was going to, but also maybe he didn't get as much money as he thought he was going to off of the GoFundMe stuff as well.
Innovator, all right? He's a climate fellow, all right? He's trying to build a better future. What's his motivation? Okay, all of this stuff, but it's not really given too much scrutiny. It says Brown received a $100,000 grant from Alexis Ohanian, co-founder of Reddit and husband of Serena Williams, but he wants larger funding from a government agency or other funding sources to scale up his work. Brown is just old enough to buy alcohol legally, yet he's already engaged in the circular economy, producing cancer juice that is potentially destroying the environment. Okay, but this thing would actually be working out for him. Okay, the strategy was working. He was getting his bread, he was getting his bag, and he had even achieved some of his GoFundMe goals. Okay, he said, thank you for $25,000 raise. Let's change the world. I'm coming to Oregon next week, Portland or Eugene, so you better get your face mask ready, man. Better get ready for that cancer juice to be coming to your area, polluting your environment. Okay, and about a month after this is when he started to go a bit loopy, to be honest. Okay, this is when things became this is when things go into full grift mode, because about a month after this, he got his 25 bags from GoFundMe. Julian would post a video where he was claiming that a secret helicopter was circling him in the middle of nowhere, and he starts making a series of paranoid posts saying that the powers that be are out to get him for this incredible non-invention.
Look, spotlight right at me. I don't know what's going on. This is the third time this helicopter's been here. Look, it has a spotlight on it. There's a helicopter with a spotlight that keeps circling around me. It's so loud though, like I can't even go to sleep. Alright, so for those of you who have not seen my stories on Instagram, 2 nights ago I was sleeping in Alabama where I work with my reactor, and there was a helicopter that flew really low and had a spotlight at 10 o'clock at night. Flew over me, shined the spotlight right into my windshield, then flew away, came back, did it again, came back, did it again, came back and did it again. It came 5 times, and this helicopter was flying so low I could feel the blades in my body. And I was recording it and posting it to my story, right? Letting everybody know what was going on. I was ready to leave. If it had done it a 6th time, I would have been gone. Let me tell you why this gets freaky and starts.
So I don't know. That's actually kind of crazy.
It's scary now. Outside of how scary it is to have a helicopter circle you 6 times in the middle of the country, where there's almost like I've been there for a year, never seen a single helicopter out there. So to have a helicopter out there at night with a spotlight circle me 5.
But we gotta remember, this guy might be scamming people. So this might be like one of his tactics to just get more people to like donate to him.
Times is already freaky enough, but many of you suggested I get Flight Radar 24. I'm a gold member. I got it. I listened, okay? Because you can go back in time, you can select categories to figure out what type of plane you're looking for, right? Like if I wanted to do just helicopter, I could do all the filters, but then I can go back in time too to see. I can go directly back to the date and the time at which this happened. So right now I have it filtered for helicopters, and right now as I'm filming this, these are every single helicopter that's flying in the world right now, everywhere. This app is pretty cool. And I gotta say, if you guys are watching Flight Radar, you can sponsor me because I actually really like this. I can't show you guys my screen because you'll know my location.
Just trying to get the bag while he's there, isn't it?
If I do that. But here's the scary part. I went back in time. I went hours before the helicopter ever showed up and just sat there looking at the screen. And guess what, guys? No helicopter ever showed up on Flight 24. But I have it on video. There was a helicopter there. But why was that helicopter not there? I wish I could show you. I can't give away my location.
I wish I could show you, man, but I can't. So after this, okay,
he's actually right, though. He can't show them his location.
Disappeared off social media for 2 weeks, and people were very suspicious. They were thinking, oh, the oil industry's finally got to him, man.
Conspiracy theories have been making waves online as the inventor of plastiline hasn't posted anything since his last cryptic messages. On July 9th, Julian warned followers he was under attack and then vanished from social media. Now his mother is finally speaking out. In an exclusive with the Daily Mail, Nina Brown
to be honest,
said,
all he has to do is delete the chemical that is harmful, like the chemicals that are harmful, and he actually might be onto something. Instead of recycling it, turn it into gas as well. Whatever is left that you can't recycle.
Can confirm Julian is safe, but in the best interest of his security, I'm not able to provide any more information. Julian made headlines for plastiline.
Ooh, spooky. Can't share his location. He's around, but we can't say because the Black Hawk helicopters are trying to get him down. Now, this is something that was also covered on the Wikipedia page. It said on July the 9th, 2025, Brown posted a video on social media where he expressed concerns about being followed and stated he believed he was in danger. In the clip, he said, I know I don't have long to live, and he urged his followers to screen record this. And following that post, he became inactive online. Despite the widespread attention and theories around his appearance, the Atlanta police said no missing person report had been filed, and his mother later confirmed to reporters he was safe but declined to provide any more details for security reasons. And then in August 2025, he came back and started dropping videos once again. Okay, and he eventually, when he did return, okay, the first thing he said was, oh, I've been hacked. He said he'd been hacked. That's the new explanation.
Hey, somebody tell those hackers, "He vuelto, perras." I'm back, bitches. And don't ever think I'm gonna go down without a fight. But I promised you guys in my last video, I'm still working, I'm still building no matter what. And thank all of you. I am so humbled to have the whole world's support. And I want to let you guys know that when some force is fighting me, you're not just fighting an individual, you are fighting the whole world, and you are fighting the source, because this is not mine. This was bestowed upon me by the Most High. And I am just a vessel for the collective consciousness, so no amount of nefariousness can triumph somebody who walks in righteousness and faith. You see, these hackers, they got into my iCloud, and they were able to basically remotely watch and view my entire phone. I figured out they were in my phone, kicked them out, and they had no more access to my phone, but they still had access to my Instagram somehow. My best guess is that these hackers were using some type of session token because they cloned my iCloud that was having the session tokens connected to my Instagram account. But to be honest, my best guess is yours. So you know what? I know you hackers are watching this right now, so how about you let the world know what you did? And while you're at it, you can also let the world know how all 3 of my microwave irradiated nuts taste in your mouth. They posted my driver's license 3 days back to back in front of millions of people. And no matter how many times I get in the account, delete the license picture, and then change the password, change two-factor, everything, they get back in. And I started to realize, wait a minute, these people have been studying me for 6 months. They have some type of back-end way to get into my account, and they know I'm the type of person to want to share with the world what's going on, keep you guys in the loop, and they're using that against me. So I said, you know what? They're not going to put me in a chess move. I'm going to do the opposite of what they are expecting. I'm going to break their plans by going silent.
Damn.
So look, all right, very interesting, okay, but also very suspiciously, all right, around this same time, this was on July 31st, okay, it just so happened, all right, that around the time that he popped off and disappeared from social media, okay, the month before, New Atlas published an article that basically called him out and exposed him as a fraud. Turning plastic into gasoline, backyard alchemy, or TikTok hype, okay? This article would explain it all. It said, picture this. 21-year-old backyard scientist in Alabama, Julian Brown, sweeps away some dirt and leaves from his homemade solar generator-powered 10 magnetron-powered pyrolysis microwave reactor, probably running around 8 kilowatts or more before nuking a pile of plastic bags, laundry detergent bottles, milk jugs, and other scraps of household plastic that would have otherwise gone to landfill. He then sludges out an unrefined goop-like substance that's looks similar to a blown head gasket oil, like chunky chocolate milk, before starting the refinement process to produce gasoline alternative he calls plastiline. The refining process is a simple distillation, but with a lot of unnecessary pouring from one beaker to another. all under a carport atop a gravel driveway in the backyard of his house. Nature Jab, Brown's social media name, has been slowly gaining traction on the internet and local news outlets. His actual company is called Jabs Pyrolysis and Energy Recovery. Brown has a heap of videos on YouTube showing himself using the various reactors he's designed and built himself. After watching quite a few videos, they're very disorganized and hard to follow exactly. Lots of ranting and dancing and random cuts. He does have a video from 3 years ago where he breaks down his thoughts, basically saying he wants to use microwave pyrolysis to create fuel from plastics using renewable energy sources like solar and wind and be carbon neutral while doing so. While he has half a dozen or more solar panels strewn around the backyard, you can almost always hear a generator running in his videos, so he hasn't reached carbon neutrality quite yet. And let's not bring up all the toxic fumes being released into the air. I imagine the EPA would be quite upset. Brown agrees that it's true that plastic pyrolysis creates a lot of carbon emissions. However, he believes the acts of recycling plastic collection, sorting and transporting plastics to be recycled creates more, okay? They're basically calling him out, all right? And so a month after that, after Julian Brown's disappearance, okay, the site Lead Stories would run a fact check on him and basically call him out for being a fraud and say he did not invent this product. It said, fact check, Julian Brown did not invent the pyrolysis method to convert plastic waste into usable fuel. Did a Georgia man named Julian Brown invent the process for turning waste plastic into useful fuel? No, that's not true. Brown's Nature Jab system harnesses solar-powered microwaves to heat a pyrolysis reactor. That is a well-understood chemical process in which heated plastics generate usable gas and oil that's been studied and refined worldwide for decades. Okay? It basically talks about all the posts on X and the fact checks that were put on them. This is what the post looked like on X at the time the fact check was written. And basically it just goes on to just, you know.
By the way, guys, we got like no viewers right now. I'm just watching this off like the face. Like I'm just like genuinely interested in this. Like this is insane.
Debunk all of his claims. You know, it basically says he did not invent plastic pyrolysis as a means of reducing plastic to gasoline, diesel, or biochar. Nowhere on his website does he claim to have invented the process. However, he was awarded an innovation grant archived here for developing small-scale systems and his use of solar electrical generators and efficient microwave emitters to heat the plastics to pyrolysis temperatures. Okay, but there's been numerous patent applications that predate Brown's founding of Nature Jab. And, you know, essentially it's old news, right? And it's debunking everything, okay? But despite the exposés, despite people calling him out, despite the facts that were being passed around, the bizarre disappearing act and all of that stuff, news outlets were still promoting him elsewhere as an inventor.
There's people that have been doing that since the 70s, they're saying.
WTVM, where he was interviewed for a segment where he basically, you know, is showing off his new process.
The young inventor has gained viral attention for what he calls plastiline. 22-year-old Julian Brown claims he can convert plastic waste into fuel using a process called microwave pyrolysis. News at 9's Amaya Graham sat down with the inventor earlier today. She joins us now from our newsroom. Amaya, this is pretty exciting stuff. Tell us more about it.
Well, Barbara, Jason, this has been a passion for Brown since he was in high school. Through tons of research, he has created diesel and gasoline from plastic.
With a goal to recycle plastic in a way that's 100% reusable, 22-year-old Julian Brown is using plastic to make what he calls plastiline. Brown uses a microwave pyrolysis powered by solar panels to turn the plastic into fuel.
That vapor of petroleum is condensed back into a liquid petroleum, and it ends up becoming crude oil.
So this is kind of once again portraying him as a genius, okay? And it's basically just explaining all the same stuff that we already heard. So the mainstream media is still backing him. And that brings us to October the 4th, 2025, which is really the big thing that made me want to kind of call him out in this video, okay? Because essentially it was October the 4th where Julian continued pushing forward, and he made another viral video where he said, I'm going to use my homemade fuel to run a scat pack, baby. You know what I'm saying? Not full Hellcat.
I remember
but like he said, look, we're going to run a scat pack. We're going to run a Dodge scat pack off plastic waste and plastiline in Atlanta, of course. Atlanta, you got to go to the land of the scat packs. But here's the... So you get the gist, right? You put the cancer juice into the scat pack, it popped off, and then everybody's just inside breathing in that cancer.
There we go. See the crowd out there. We're making...
It's inside, bro. This is...
Hit it! Hit it! Here we go.
everybody getting cancer in that room, man. This is a really, really bad look. All right. This is actually such a bad look. All right.
We're good?
Yep.
All right.
This was him like starting off this whole photo opportunity, but he's doing this inside, bro. This is so irresponsible.
Why are you doing this inside?
Okay.
Plastoline! 110 octane made from gasoline. 2023 Scat Pack right here. It's on E. This does not have fuel inside of it. There we go. See the crowd out there. We're making history, and everybody's here to see right here on that live.
Everyone gets technology that already exists and is not cost effective at scale. Okay, that's some snake oil fuckery that people have known how to do for a long time. I got secondhand embarrassment watching this video. Okay, it's cool, but one look at the comments and doing your own research. He didn't invent anything new or improve the process. He's just very good at marketing and social media. I cannot believe that he was so irresponsible that he would actually have that Scat Pack running on that toxic fuel that's been proven to be toxic over and over again. Straight cancer juice in an enclosed area. So irresponsible and out of line. But that's where we left it, man. The last we saw of Julian Brown, he was just, he was just spewing cancer juice and cancer-causing chemicals all around the dealership with the Scat Pack, and now he's even got his own merch, man. He's built a complete financial engine powered by public donations, product sales, and advertising money. He got his own merch. You know what I'm saying? He got his own merch. Plastic plus microwave equals cancer juice right there, man. So he is doing his thing. You know what I'm saying? He's got all the merch, man. You know what I'm saying? Nature jab, man. He's really out here possibly polluting into the environment. You shouldn't even be doing that outside, let alone in an enclosed space. They're saying that these chemicals, this type of fuel might have 10 times the cancer-causing chemicals and harmful substances that regular gasoline has, and it's very inefficient to produce. So look, I'm really sorry, a little bit of disrespect to Julian Brown, because I feel like what he's doing is very irresponsible. But look, this isn't the guy that you should be supporting, man. I'm not trying to be in the pocket of big oil or, the powers that be, but at the end of the day, this isn't the solution. Okay, this guy is causing problems. He's very irresponsible. He's putting cancer juice out into the world, and it really shouldn't be condoned, man. So look, is what it is, man. That's the breakdown. He low-key is low-key, in my opinion, a fraud. Okay, and he's actually causing serious harm to the people around him. So, hopefully maybe he'll redirect his attention to something more positive, something more useful. A lot of dumb people are getting duped by this guy saying, I've invented, oh my God, protect this man at all costs. No one wants to kill this man unless it's the EPA trying to get him out of the way for putting cancer-causing chemicals into the environment and into people's lungs in the Dodge Scat Pack dealership. Very irresponsible, if you ask me. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Maybe I'm just a big old hater and I'm in the pockets of Big Oil and Chevron and BP and all of them. Or maybe I just don't want fools breathing in cancer-causing chemicals for some guy to get some clout on Instagram. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Catch you in the next video. I'm out here. Peace.
Damn. All right. Well, he told y'all.